how's it going, everybody? It's been a long time since I've posted anything of meaning on the channel. Life got very busy, and just wasn't feeling the old style of content I was doing anymore. But today I want to talk about Marathon. I've spent a lot of time playing Marathon, a lot more than I thought I would as someone who really loves Escape from Tarkov. I'm going to be talking about it primarily from a solo player's experience in the solo mode. I did end up having to play with randoms in Cryo Archive because I just don't have dedicated players. People in my circles don't like Marathon nearly as much as I do. And that seems to be common in a lot of people on the internet. I got very lucky yesterday in solo queue. Came across a team of, I believe it was 2 brothers who were very, very into the game, and we ended up becoming friends. We played Cryo Archive all night, and around like 2 in the morning, we ran the compiler. And frankly, it was a pretty awesome experience. As someone who doesn't like to play with randoms very often, I got extraordinarily lucky. I'd say a god roll of god rolls on who I got teamed up with, and they just so happened to want to keep doing runs together. I don't actually have all of the vaults completed. We only did vaults, I think, 1 through 4. Do you remember where all this stuff is? So yeah, I have vaults 1 through 4. I do have a 6 key. I had a 5 key. We were going to run it and we lost it. But one of the other guys had already had all the subroutines, so we found what we needed to do the compiler, so we ended up doing that. The compiler fight, honestly, is, I'm sure everyone watching this has seen videos of that fight. It is exactly what you think it is. But it's still nice to have that done. As someone who, say, solo player, thought that it was kind of hopeless for me because I would be essentially forced to play with randoms, and I just got really, really fucking lucky. Yeah, I adore this game. I've done, as a solo player, I did all of the priority contracts for all of the factions in solo mode. Some of them, especially on, I think it was Traxxas and Mida at the very end on Outposts, got pretty hectic as a solo player, but got it done. It was a really fun challenge. Yeah, this game tests your patience in a lot of the same ways that Escape from Tarkov does, just in a different setting. A lot of the depth and complexity carries over from Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov's maps are very complicated with lots of little nooks and crannies, and learning them inside and out, learning all of the different rotates that are possible, a lot of that exists in Marathon, and learning the maps has been a real joy. My one major complaint with it, though, is that there's only really 3 maps and then 1 raid, which I'm fine with there just being 1 raid right now, but 3 maps is kind of too sparse for this type of game. That being said, I've still put probably around 175 hours, and as a solo player, it is just harder to get experience. My last goal really for this season is hit level 100, which is a grind. Getting like 3 kills in a solo raid on other runners only gets you like 20% of the way for another level. It takes forever. But yeah, to all my other solo players out there, don't be afraid to run cryo with randoms. I know it's not ideal. I know it sucks. I know, like, just have your mic open, be willing to talk and cooperate, and just be friendly, and you'll ultimately get stuff done. I had a lot more purple shield. We went on a big losing streak at one point. Cryo Archive giveth and taketh away. But yeah, solo players, don't be afraid to just queue in with Phil. I do want them to, like, one change I would love for Bungie to make is to let me queue into Cryo Archive on as a solo with no Phil. You can make it into trio lobbies. I don't care. I just want to be able to try it. I think locking completely dedicated solo players out of it entirely is a big mistake. I don't want him to change the map. I don't want him to change the difficulty at all. I don't want him to change anything about any of the vaults for solo players. I think it would be totally adequate to just let them queue in to trio lobbies as a solo player. And you run the risk. If you play smart enough, this game is surprisingly lenient on one player's ability to basically 1v3 a team. And I think that's awesome. I think that's great. It's one of my favorite things about Tarkov is that you can 1v5 a team. Though not anymore, because I think they're taking 5-mans out of the game. But regardless, you as a solo player could take out an entire squad of 5 people because one bullet to the face was enough to kill a guy. It's not quite that easy in this game. It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of manipulation, and I would argue you need to be a mobility... You don't need to be a mobility character, but it really helps being a mobility character to keep them guessing as to where you're going to be peeking from. But major critiques... My major critiques for Marathon at this point is new player experiences, obviously garbage. I had it fairly easy because I have a lot of experience with the genre, and I think some of the shells need tweaking. To start with, my main is not a whole lot I would change about Thief, except for probably with the pickpocket drone, I would make that have like 5 charges. As far as like shooting out your hook tether. Make people think about when to actually use it. If you're going to use a charge to open a door, whatever. Right now, I find it too easy to harass other players. Basically, you have a thief set up with a drone to harass somebody, steal their meds while your other 2 people push up. And it's just too easy to constantly harass them. So, as a thief main, like that'd be the one major thing I'd change. Yeah, I don't know that I would actually change anything about Triage. Really, he seems pretty well balanced. Assassin, the fucking bane of my existence in solo queues. These bastards love to hide in a building for 20 minutes of the round and just wait for someone to come in, and then they stab you and take all your shit. If I were to change anything about Assassins, it would be that their active camo, make it to where UESC bots can see their invisibility. Maybe don't make it to where they'll shoot at them. Just have them be alerted to their presence. Because right now it is way too easy for, in solo queue specifically, for assassins to basically be rooks in solo queue and then hide in a bunch of bots and wait to ambush a player. Yeah, I don't know if you would only make that change for solo queues or make it across the board. I don't play enough of trios to really know how viable assassin is. But in solo queues, it is literally all you see. I can't stand assassins. As far as recon changes, I think the buff was in the right direction because recon was essentially useless. But I think they went a little too far with it being able to distinguish enemy runners and bots. I think you really should just, when you ping out, I don't think you should be able to see shield values because it makes it to where it's too easy for a team to ping out, see that a team is all greens and they have like better shields, so they just rush them down and kill them immediately. So I would probably get rid of that, and I would make it to where instead of it being able to distinguish between runners and bots, just make it flash on your screen runners detected, even number of runners detected. I think recons being able to see exactly where a person is a bit too much. And for the love of God, like, fix the spider drone tracking. I'm tired of seeing them just kind of do circles on ceilings still after supposedly fixing it. Vandal, I have no opinions on Vandal and Destroyer are my two. I mean, really, all from Assassin, Recon, Vandal, Destroyer are my least played. Primarily only played Triage and Thief. I have no opinions on Vandal. As far as I know that they are perfectly balanced. I don't get frustrated when I fight them. Yeah, they seem like they're in a good spot. I've seen people complain about their power slide. It just goes way too far. Whereas
Let's roll.
Destroyer's power slide, he still gets to have his weapon out. Can go about as far, I think, if he's doing his double sprint. So you can slide in and shoot at the same time. It's really good. Destroyer is really good. He's the king of pushing. Of the other shells, Triage doesn't really interest me. He's just very useful in lower tier lobbies. For whenever my friends who don't play this game a lot do play, I kind of babysit them with med drones and try to keep them topped up at all times. So it's just very useful in the like lower tier lobbies, but higher up you go, Triage is less and less useful. But yeah. And then Destroyer, there's really, I don't think anything I would change about Destroyer. I don't get frustrated in fighting them either. It's really the two pain points are Recon and Assassin. You'll see teams running 3 Recon deep on Cryo Archive to just be constantly pinging player locations and always getting that intel, and that intel is very, very vital, especially in a game like this. And I just think it's a little too useful. It needs to be toned down a little bit. And this bastard needs to be tweaked for at least solo play in particular, because you just see him way too much. Like literally like 95% of the people I come across in solos are Assassin. And it's yeah. But yeah, here in Season 1, I think Marathon is an exceptional video game. I really, really love this. I did not expect to spend as much time as I have. I almost resent it because of how much time I have put into it and neglecting other video games. I like to play a lot of other stuff, and there's things that I want to play still that I haven't, just because one, Marathon is really awesome, but that is, I guess, another criticism. I think the grind is a little too much, especially for solo players. I know they've increased XP gain in solo queues. I don't think it is enough. It does not compensate a good team. Like you will level up faster playing in team games. And as for Season 2, very excited to see what they can do with that. Hopefully ease up with the onboarding a little bit, make it easier for people to get into this game, because I do think it is a really special video game, but it is a very niche video game. Tarkov is extremely niche. We don't know Tarkov's exact player numbers because most of them are on the BSG launcher, not on Steam. I do worry about the introduction of PvE style stuff. We don't know at this point what the PvE modes that they're going to add into Season 2 are going to be. Are they going to be completely separate, or is it just going to be a PvE version of what the game we have? I have a feeling it's going to be a completely separate mode. I just don't know what that looks like. I think this game could benefit greatly from like an arena style mode, like what Apex Legends had for a little while, just a 3v3 no respawn mode. I would make those like pre-made kits though. You shouldn't be bringing gear into those. But yeah, as far as Season 2 goes, excited for what it would bring. A little worried that a PvE mode might split the player base, because sadly Marathon doesn't have a huge player base. It has a dedicated player base, but it does not have a very large player base. The problem of implementing a PvE mode is you might get players playing the PvE mode instead of the PvP mode, making the PvP queues even more sparse than they already are. But we'll see where it goes. I'm in on this game for the long haul. I honestly can't believe how much time I've put into it. I'm excited to get back to Tarkov at some point, but for the time being, like, this is, yeah, it just really kept me occupied. I think I still like Tarkov more than this game, but this game is really, really great. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you all later.